Jaret Goes to the Movies is a free podcast made possible by Rich's lack of a social life, as well as our amazing supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can access tons of extra content each week. Visit JaretGoesToTheMovies.com and click Support Us. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jaret Reddick, and this is a podcast. Jaret Goes to the Movies. Hopefully you have seen or heard one of my many musical endeavors. And if you have, then you know how much I love movies. This is movie commentary with no movie knowledge. This podcast is me and my friend Rich talking about movies that we like. But my name's on it because I'm famous. This is Jaret Goes to the Movies. Still. Okay, we're starting now.
It was sitting underneath the tree, wrapped in a bow of red. With love to Jack from Santa Claus was all the stickers said. It was big and it was heavy, and it was just for me. And I started to imagine all the things that it might be. A skateboard or a dirt bike, or a brand new BB gun. PlayStation, Wii, and Xbox 3. All wrapped into one. Sure hope it's not a hamster, 'cause there ain't no holes on top. It's killing me, can't wait to see
What's in the box? Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Rich has come through again on the pulling of the clips. That may be my favorite ever. Here, I'm gonna be honest about that song. That song really, just got me.
It made me happy and
I am
loving,
so happy right now. You were tired. Now there's life
Now
in your
it's
face
Christmas.
now. This is amazing. It's Christmas. And Everett was just
just
watching
watched
the
The
Grinch.
Grinch, yeah.
Oh my God.
You know what? Let's put our shit back up.
Hey, yeah. Well, it's super handy. It never made it.
Took it down.
Well,
I know.
It never made it into storage. It's right outside the garage door. It needs to go up, but I don't know. At this point, I feel like, what month do you get to where you're like, I mean, essentially, it's made it more months on the garage floor than it's not going to be on the garage floor, because it goes up in
We just
in
need to have a
November.
Christmas in July party and just say, fuck it.
I'd be into that, actually. I think that's a good idea. Hey, everybody, my name is Jaret, fresh off of our very first week off ever, which is kind of a fib because we had a week off, and then Rich and Wendy did a greatest hits one time. And then there was
We missed a week one time.
We missed a week one time, but it was early on. And, you know,
Nobody cared about us.
Yeah.
but we come in and we're freshly charged. It's like when Bowling for Soup has 3 months off, you know, we get
It's just like that.
it's exactly the same.
Feels the same.
100% the same. Guys, this is a podcast. It's called Jaret Goes to the Movies. If you're joining us for the first time, well, there's other people here, but I just happen to be really, really fucking famous. Joining me, as always, is Rich Coleman.
Hello.
He's right over there. You can't see him. We almost had video tonight. We're getting so close to being live.
We had video. We just couldn't get the fucking audio to work.
Right, couldn't get the audio to work. We're going to fucking get there, though. We're so close. My lovely wife, Casey, is here.
Hello.
And I've been away for a week. I was in Florida, and I was staying with the Dollyrots. Kelly Dollyrot and I are doing a duets album. And at first we wanted to have it done this summer and record it in the fall. And I think that we'll still be recording in the fall, but I think it's going to be more of a spring release next year. But man, it was productive. Holy crap. I mean, we were just cranking them out, and then it would be awesome because...
Hits? Did you write any hits?
You know, I don't know that we wrote hits, but we wrote good songs. You know,
Okay.
At this point...
I like good songs.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's I don't really try to write hits anymore. I mean, it's not going to happen. I'm
It's
45
old hat.
years old. Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. What's a hit now?
I mean, how many hits do you need to write before people relax a little?
Right? Get off my back, for Christ's sake. But, you know, I don't know. What's a hit? Is that what I hear on the radio? Because I can't write that anymore. I mean, it just doesn't sound like me.
I've actually never have tried to write a hit.
Yeah.
Well, until I started doing music for Zoe, but I don't know. I write, I mean, because it's just me listening to my own stuff.
Yeah. Well, and you actually,
I just write
First
stuff
of all,
I like.
let's backtrack. Zoe Coleman is your daughter.
Yes.
And we've had her on the show.
Yep.
And
51st Dates episode.
We're working. You guys are working hard, and I'm helping out when I can. We're gonna launch all of her social media and stuff like that soon. I mean, the songs. I'm actually really glad that we kind of like let her have some time because the songs are on a new level.
Yeah.
And just her writing is really good. And
She's huge in India already.
really,
Yeah.
no kidding.
She has
No.
like
just because
all of her.
all the other people are small, or
No, she has a bunch of Facebook followers and they're all Indian. So they're all like literally from India.
that's cool.
I don't know why. It just started happening. I get like 2 or 3, 4 a week just from India. She's got one post on her page.
That is super weird.
Isn't it
I mean,
weird?
we really haven't put anything up there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, but what I was going to say was about like your musical stuff. Like you have more. This is true, and I do mean this. You would have a better chance of writing a hit in the kind of music that you listen to and that you have lived in than I would have on the radio format that I had all my hits in, because there's no place for what I write on pop radio anymore. But rock radio or whatever, like
Oh, I see what
it
you're
still
saying.
sounds like what you're doing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's still a little bit of a stretch, but okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just the right person hearing it and
That's
doing
true.
it. You know, I mean, if who's this? I don't know who like this Nickelback. Have you heard of this band? Apparently, they've got a bunch of hits, and there's this other.
They actually write good songs.
you know
You
this,
say what you will, they're good songs.
You know what you ought to do is hook up with this Chris Daughtry. Hook up with that guy.
I don't think he writes very good songs. His hits actually were, I think, written by other people.
They were, yeah. My friend Zach wrote some stuff for him, and but he's written for Carrie Underwood and some of the bands that you like too. Like Zach's written for Default, but yeah, I mean I don't know. So yeah, we wrote some songs. I'm super stoked about that, and I'll be heading off to Warped Tour soon. So actually, about the time you hear this episode, I'll be about to go, and we'll be out for a week or so, and then home for a while, and then back out again, and that'll be with Bowling for Soup. But man, it's hot outside. Holy shit! And I mean, let's be honest about something. I've put on some pounds. You know what I mean? So like
You did cardio today.
this whole, I don't think I can fix it in one day. Is the thing. But that's like brushing your teeth like the morning before you go to the dentist. I'm gonna fucking.
Oh, is
floss
this your
today.
first cardio day?
Well, no, not ever. But let's just say I've laid off it a bit. And so I haven't done Warped Tour since like 2014. I was like, 80 pounds less than I am now.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah. Man, it was hot then. I just like hitting that button. I'm going to be honest. It's my favorite button to hit, and I don't really do it all that
It's
much
the favorite to listen to.
I want to take a minute and just say thanks to everybody who's been supporting the show. Everybody's just so cool on Facebook. Our Facebook page is awesome, by the
Yeah.
way. It's just kind of it's almost like its own community.
Nice and peaceful. No one ever fights.
No.
It's just like utopia.
It is. It's nice. Thank you to everybody who's been sharing our posts, who's following us on Instagram and Twitter at Jaret Movies. Thank you to anybody doing anything that remotely supports this podcast, especially to our Patreon supporters. I do want to remind you, if you are a Patreon supporter, even if you're just a $1 supporter, you get a discount in our merch store, right? Isn't that right?
That's right.
Yeah, so if you think about it, I think it's like 20% off you get in our merch store, meaning like if you bought a shirt that's like $20, you'd get $4 off that shirt. That's essentially 4 months that you could support us,
That's true.
And you could take that to the next level and the next, But we do appreciate everybody just for listening. I do want to thank our new Patreon supporter, Mr. Dave Marlowe, who is a new $10 supporter. He will be granted access to our Skype Hangouts or anything else we deem worthy of his $10 a month. Our executive producers are David Murray, Ashley C., Sheila Ray Wonder, Wendy Croft, David Dooley, Diane Small, Big Chris Whitehead, Lucy Murray, Rodon James, Eddie Weiss, ColonBlowBand.com, who is also a musical contributor, but you will not hear from them today because Will is not here. Lisa Wenzel, Sean Umbeck, Joel Robinson, Nigel Watson, Greg Pascal, Chris Holt. And you're thinking to yourself, do they really have this many amazing supporters? Well, the answer is yes. We'll hear from Chris Holt later in the show. Tyler McCullough, Mark Ryan, Sweehurst, Josh Millman, Jason Randall, Braden Hazel, and Wayne Bullard. We're talking about the movie Se7en, which is actually kind of hard to search for because the V is replaced with a 7. And it doesn't just correct into that, by the way. Like, you can go on IMDb and type in 7, like, and spell it correctly, and it's not like it just comes up.
Right.
You got to dig a little bit.
Yeah, I've seen it in both ways, in different places. So I've seen it written S-E-V-E-N.
Yeah.
And then I see it S-E-7-E-N.
You would think, from where I am in my industry, like, anytime you try to spell a song wrong or a band name wrong or whatever, it really bites you in the ass more than it doesn't.
I always think about that with band names when they spell it weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is anyone going to find you?
Yeah.
They're going to hear the name. Oh, this is this band, this awesome band. It's so-and-so. You go search for so-and-so, and it's spelled weird, and you can't find them.
Yeah.
You lost out.
Totally agree. I have a great story about that, though. Hangover You Don't Deserve, there's a song on there called Ridiculous, and I wrote the track listing, and I spelled ridiculous, R-E-D, and everybody thought I was doing it to be cute, and that's what I was going to call the song, and it's actually on all of our stuff as R-E-D-U, whatever, the rest are ridiculous, and it's spelled with an I there. It said, so, And that thing was proofread by everybody.
You were spelling like ridiculous.
Exactly. I think that's maybe what people thought.
No one knows how to spell ridiculous. Only Word knows how to spell ridiculous.
Right.
R-I-D-I-C-U-L.
Well, I just gave you all the clues.
You said R-I-D-U.
Se7en, 1995, which will explain many aspects of this movie. First of all, the pagers. The lack of communication pretty much throughout. The lack of umbrellas. Apparently, umbrellas weren't invented until 1998. In this movie, it's fucking raining literally the whole time. There's not one umbrella.
They did that on purpose.
Why? Is that true?
They made it rainy so they, I don't know, I guess they had just to avoid any bad weather and to make it just look gloomy. It was like totally intentional that it would rain the whole time.
You could say that if he were like actually doing this for God, though, that maybe like we were having like the big flood or whatever. Somebody's like building a fucking boat somewhere.
Biblical shit.
Putting two of everything on the thing, you know?
Or it was just like rainy.
So when that happened, like, do you think he had to like round up mosquitoes and shit? What do? Put them in a jar? You can't just fucking. It's not like they had jars back then. You know what I mean? Like, how do you put two?
Mason wasn't in the Bible? Mason jar?
Mason? No, I don't think so. I'd have to look.
Oh.
I mean, I feel like you could have kept fish longer. You know, you just like maybe store it in that. But either way, I mean, you know, there's several of the animals where I'm just like, how the fuck did he keep them? Like, you can tie a bird down, you know what I mean? But like, you'd have to have tanks for like all the snakes. Those motherfuckers will sliver right away. You know what I mean? Now, did he have to mess with sea creatures, or they just stayed in the sea? It was just land animals.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So maybe if it was something that flew, they just had to hover until the.
Well, they could land on the boat, fly away, land on the boat.
Okay.
Fly away.
How long was the flood? Like 40 days, 40 nights?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. So, God damn, I bet their arms were tired.
Well, they could land on the boat.
Oh, I get it. Like to perch it. They had perches set up. That makes a lot of sense.
I don't know if they had to go through all the trouble of making
actual perches. Did the birds know that
perches.
they could only be like 2 at a time?
Right. That's the thing. That is why insects outnumber us all.
Mm-hmm.
Because those motherfuckers, they all slipped through with. Some of them brought a posse onto the boat, and now we live in the age of the insect now,
right?
And that's what happened.
That is what happened.
It's like putting vodka in your Listerine bottle on the cruise and stuff.
We freaking solved Noah's Ark, ladies and gentlemen. We've done it. Se7en, 1995. 2 detectives, a rookie and a veteran, hunt a serial killer who uses the 7 deadly sins as his motives. That's a fantastic synopsis.
Sure, yeah.
I almost think I would have to go back and compare. And you know what? I can do that. I can go back and compare to shit. You know why?
Because you have tabs?
Because I have tabs. And though we may seem unorganized at times, we are not as unorganized. And you know what? I can fucking search for it on this. Okay, I got it right here. Up until now, the winner has been Groundhog Day. All right?
I thought you let
I thought someone else won.
Bridesmaids take
Okay,
over.
hold on. All right, so then, I'll go there next. Groundhog Day, 1993. A weatherman finds himself inexplicably living the same day over and over again.
Inexplicably?
Inexplicably. That one is fucking nailed. That is nailed.
Yeah,
all right,
it is
so let me
nailed.
go up to Bridesmaids is competition between the maid of honor and a bridesmaid over who is the bride's best friend threatens to upend the life of an out-of-work pastry chef. That is good. I'm gonna have to go with Groundhog Day, and we do have a new leading synopsis, ladies and gentlemen, and that is the movie Se7en.
Seven.
Spelled Se7en. Two detectives, a rookie and a veteran, hunt a serial killer who uses the 7 deadly sins as his motives. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure this one can ever be fucking beat. I'm not kidding.
It nails it.
I don't know that that's unbelievably written right there. Like, why does everybody needs to simplify their lives? Now, do we have an alternate this week?
I'll do my best, but that is pretty good.
Okay. All right. So, coming in with this alternate synopsis. Here we go.
Kaiser Sose's limping alter ego strikes again as a serial killer with an affinity for boxes and the Bible. But this time, there's a happy ending when that bitch Gwyneth Paltrow gets her head cut off.
Oh,
No.
man.
So I'm taking it that you're not a huge fan of Gwyneth Paltrow.
No.
Now, did you see the movie where she karaoke'd with Huey Lewis? That seemed like a good one.
Yeah, I did. Actually.
Kevin Spacey is in this, and he's brilliant. Absolutely
Always.
brilliant. He plays John Doe in this particular movie, but of course we know him from he's in that show House of Cards, which I've never seen. A lot of people really dig that.
You've never seen House Cards?
Is it good?
I'm 2 seasons behind, but
Okay.
the first, second seasons were amazing. So
Well, I mean,
He did Beyond the Sea, the Bobby Darin movie, and I loved him in that.
he did. Yeah, that's right. Well, and then American Beauty was a huge one for him.
Oh, that was so good.
That one was.
I just watched that the other day again. I watch that like every time it's on.
So Kevin Spacey got second billing, and he got a featured thing at the end of the movie. Like,
What do you mean
did
by
you notice
featured?
that? Well, because as the movie ends and the credits roll, it said Kevin Spacey as John Doe
And
by
it kinda
itself,
went into all the other ones.
and
later.
then it went into other credits, and he was listed in that as well.
there's a reason for that.
Was he
we'll
not
talk
listed?
about that later.
Okay, awesome. I'm curious about it. Brad Pitt, of course, is in this one. Not his strongest acting.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a few times where it was actually kind of uncomfortable. Like there's just a few, and I'll talk about those when they come up. But definitely threw me a few times as not being as on his game here. And I wondered, is it
Who?
just because he's like on the same screen as is Morgan Freeman just that
Intimidated.
fucking good?
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I think he is that fucking good.
Yeah. And I was just telling him that Brad Pitt, like, to me, this is definitely not his strongest performance.
No, I was saying that it's like the whole movie. I didn't feel like he was doing that great, and then of course the last scene, I'm like, he's a really good fucking actor.
Yeah. Well, just the look in his eyes in the last scene of the movie,
like
it-
makes up for all the shitty acting
exactly
in the beginning.
I thought exactly the same
Yeah.
thing. I was just like, okay, well, that's whatever.
It was
I'm in.
the pull the gun up, put it down.
Yeah.
Pull it up, put it down.
And just
Yeah.
that
That's
look
what
on
sold me.
that
Pain and
fucking look on his
Terror.
face.
Oh my god, holy shit!
Unbelievable. Okay, so we did talk about Gwyneth Paltrow already. You're not a fan. I am actually. There was a time during all, and I actually
You
wondered.
could be her only fan left.
Was she the one in Shallow Hal?
Yes. Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
And I wondered though, because her and Brad Pitt actually did date for a long time, but I wondered
Yeah.
if that was during this whole thing. I mean,
I would imagine probably had
that's
something
pretty
to do
much
with
how it works,
Yeah.
right? I had this like little period of time where I just thought Gwyneth Paltrow was like the thing, and I don't really know. I mean, I don't really know that I get it anymore, but
Oh, so you're just saying that at one time.
at one point I
Yeah,
thought she
at
was
one
like
point,
super.
I
I,
w-
I just thought
I wasn't crazy about her, but I
think
was
she's
thought
just
she was
super
attractive.
interesting looking, and then
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason she's an actor. I totally agree with that.
Arlie Ermy plays the police captain, and so obviously everybody knows him as the sergeant and
Platoon
everything.
or whatever, yeah.
No, it's
Apocalypse Now.
no,
No, I think it's Platoon.
no. Y'all are both wrong.
He's definitely in Apocalypse Now, but you're thinking about the one where the guy hangs himself. Pow!
Yeah, he
Yeah,
suck a golf ball through a water hose.
Yeah.
What the
That's not-
fuck is that?
Platoon?
No, Full Metal Jacket.
Full
Full
Metal
Metal
Jacket,
Jacket,
yeah.
you're right.
But he's
That's so
also in Toy Story. He's the voice of the head army guy, And then my favorite has to be his role in Saving Silverman as the coach that has to come rescue the guys.
I love that movie. Are we doing that one?
We need to. I mean,
I've seen it, but it's been a long time. I don't remember anything about it.
Oh man,
It's
there's
funny.
so many one-liners that I don't know but you don't like the girl star in it. It's what's her face with me and you talked about how nice her boobs were like for a whole episode once, and
She's not the star. She's not like the main girl, but it's what's her name? You don't like her. She's in like a whole 9 yards.
Yeah, that girl.
Amanda
Peet.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
she has good boobs.
let's move on. My wife and I agree almost always on good boobs, and that girl has some good boobs.
We should mention that this is a David Fincher movie also, and David Fincher did Fight Club.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so I'm sure that's how he got. This one was before a Fight Club, I think. So I think this is how he got Fight Club.
This one would definitely be before
I
Fight
thought
Club.
this was after Fight Club.
Well,
I don't know.
This one's definitely before Fight Club because
I think it's 899 is Fight Club, right?
Yeah, I was going to say 99 or 2000 because I know for a fact that, well, the first time I ever saw it, I was on a radio tour with Jive Records, and I didn't sign with them until 99. So I would say 2000 probably.
Yeah, this is like 2005, and then the other one, Fight Club, 2009.
Yeah.
What? No, this is
1995. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, this is 1995, and then what?
I'm just making stuff up.
Fight Club is 1999.
Yeah.
2000. Dude, you know what this guy fucking told me the other day? Like, you know that 1999, that Prince song, it's not a happy song. It's like about the end of the world.
Yeah. Because it was supposed to be the end of the world.
I know, but it's so happy. You know, like I skated like a motherfucker.
Well,
to
he
that
needs
song,
to sell the record.
you know? But yeah, but it was like, then he started like quoting lines from it. And I was just like, oh shit, you know? Sky was all purple. There's people running everywhere. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit, you're right. Fucking people are terrified right now.
Did you notice that the subtle Trent Reznor Closer, Nine Inch Nails Closer song?
Yeah,
At the
totally.
beginning? I missed that
Yeah.
every single time until today. I rewatched it to take notes.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I didn't even notice that before.
So one thing that we discovered today was watching it on the Amazon Fire Stick and using Amazon's subtitles.
Uh-huh.
First of all, it puts them in an amazing spot. It never gets in the way. Like it's
Right.
really, really good. But also, they give you like shit that people are saying in the background. And then, so when that came on, it said rock music playing. So it called my attention to it.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, that's Trent Reznor.
Yeah.
But like there's some times where, and Casey and I both noticed it, but didn't talk about it till well into the movie, where it was just like, this is crazy. Like they're telling us like what people on the side are saying. Like there's
That
one,
you wouldn't hear.
yeah, there's one scene where he's walking into the lawyer's office or whatever to see Greed. And there's a guy, it's like, oh, that's that new hot shot. And then there's another guy going, I'm not even going to be able to eat dinner tonight. So those are probably like the voices that you hear behind you when you're listening
But
to
they
5.1.
picked up on him. It was funny.
But it whatever
Right.
it is, picked up on us.
Do you wish you had bought stock in Amazon
Dude,
20 years ago?
You hear about that today?
What
Amazon is buying.
happened? Oh, yes.
Yeah, they're buying
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
Whole Foods.
I told her today, they're just going to go own everything. But yes, that I do.
Yeah, everyone's worried about all these other, like Apple or Microsoft or Google. Fucking Amazon is like sneak attacking.
I buy everything from Amazon.
I don't do anything but Amazon.
No,
I
never.
go find it on the web somewhere, and I go, oh, I need this, and then I go, oh, I bet it's just on Amazon. I'll just go get
Yeah.
it on there.
And now you can like go to like.
And I
even if
leave
go to,
the site that I'm on, that it's already in the cart. And I leave there and go to Amazon and buy it off Amazon.
No, but some of the websites now you'll be at your cart and you'll check out, and it'll let you check out with Amazon.
Oh, wow.
Even whenever you're not even like
Holy
on
shit.
Amazon. Yeah. So I've like redirected to Amazon
their
from websites.
business
multiple times.
model is to never, and this is fucking smart as shit. They never take advantage of their clear monopoly in the sector. Like they have all the business, but they don't take advantage of it. And that's the definition of monopoly as far as the government has to go break it up and stuff.
Sure.
Is this if you're taking advantage, it's not legal to have a monopoly. It's illegal to take advantage of your monopoly status.
Right.
So they
Their prices are the same, and
exactly, they don't gouge. They don't gouge, and that's why they do so
Yeah, but
well.
if
And
you
that's
buy
why I just
Prime,
fucking
then
go there every
shipping's
time.
free, and that's
I'm
fucking
like,
great
fuck
deal.
it. I know they're not going to gouge me. I'll just go there.
Yeah.
And everything's already set up. I got all my order history. If I got to reorder it, get free shipping because I got Prime. I
Yeah.
mean, fucking
Returns
why?
are easy as shit.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best thing ever.
It's the fucking best. I love it. Well, should we talk about the movie or?
Yeah, fuck.
Maybe I'm not understanding the question.
Very simple. You actually fought to get reassigned here. I've just never seen it done that way before.
Thought I could do some good. Look, it would be great for me if we didn't start out kicking each other in the balls. But you're calling the shots, Lieutenant.
Yes. I want you to look, and I want you to listen, okay?
Now, I wasn't standing around guarding the Taco Bell. I've worked homicide 5 years.
Not here.
I understand that.
Well, over the next 7 days, Detective, you'll do me the favor of remembering that.
They don't really have security guards in all the Taco Bells, especially upstate New York. Like that's
They should. Shit goes down in some Taco Bells.
Well, Morgan Freeman didn't really. He didn't really strike me as a guy who even knew what the fuck Taco Bell was. You know what I mean?
That's
It's
true.
like-
I've seen people have sex in Taco Bells on the internet.
On the internet.
Yeah, Pornhub, search Taco Bell. There's a sex scene in Taco Bell.
Don't fucking think I won't.
Do they use the fire sauce?
God, I hope not. This is the scene where I really noticed his bad acting, and he absolutely needs a fidget spinner because he just couldn't stay still, and he's all shaking and
Yeah. He's definitely nervous. I mean, and, bumping into people and kind of looking back, I mean, leading into this too. I mean, I thought it was interesting how they chose to, to make it to where we knew that Morgan Freeman was retiring with the guy just telling him like, yeah, we can't wait till you're gone. We're everybody here is stoked, right? And then, they established Brad Pitt as a hothead right away because he fucking walks up to the patrolman or whatever, starts talking shit to him immediately, and then hands him his empty coffee. Just like, that's probably some of the people you should be the nicest to.
And if you're the new guy, who comes in fucking guns blazing like that?
Yeah.
Like, let's get some
I
rapport.
guess if he's not new necessarily, he's just new there, right?
Yeah, but
But
but they
still.
say that like being a policeman is like very much like a fraternity and stuff like that. I think you'd want to get in there and
Like prison, you got to like punch the big guy first.
I guess so. Yeah.
Like fuck
Yeah.
the smallest guy.
Yeah. Well, that's why he picked the old guy. I think he thought he'd be easy, but
A little bit of both.
a little bit of both, you never know. So searching this house, it's fucking gross. And there's certain things where, there's certain things about being a police officer or detective or whatever where I can just automatically tell you like that would fucking suck. Like I'd be scared of that or this or this.
Right.
It's like these situations where it would just be, I mean, like I would fucking throw up. I mean, there's no question,
Yeah.
Yeah, you absolutely would.
100%. And especially like when he finds the bucket under the table and smells it, and then he almost pukes or whatever, and it's just like
Yeah.
he almost vomits.
I have a really hard time with other people's messes because, like if I go to my parents' house and I'm helping them move and they just have shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get comfortable. Like, I'm just standing there with my hands sort of
right.
up, out to the side.
How
going,
do you hang out here?
No,
what do you-
well, it's been like
Because
that
I come
here.
in this room.
I know,
And I
but
just sit
it's
down.
been like that in this room before.
You've
Like,
seen me kind of like that.
No, when we were like running wires and shit like that or whatever, and
That's
it just
me.
kind of got out of your control. Like you would just be kind of sitting there, like
That's exactly what I'm
spinning
describing.
around. Yeah,
That's how I get.
I know exactly.
And I would
what
be
you're
like this
talking
in this room. I'd be like, I don't, what, where do, I don't, I
I'm
just
the
don't want to
opposite.
be
I can
here.
adapt anywhere. I can fucking move over somebody's laundry and dog and cigarette butts off their fucking old burnt up couch and just make myself at home. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm pretty snobby. But-
Jared keeps saying I'm going to grow out of that, but I just don't think I will.
Now we see Brad Pitt do something here, and it's not the only time he does it in this. And so I started thinking about it, and I'm just like, maybe it's because it's 95 and like you don't like not a lot of education goes into like how they would preserve a crime scene or whatever this, but when he smells that bucket and he gets up and he's kind of gagging a little bit, then he blows snot rockets out of both his
I saw
nostrils.
that, yeah.
He's essentially just shooting his DNA,
DNA
all over the
the
floor, right? And that could be something where somebody would see that
When
and just
did
be like,
DNA
"Hey, we
happen?
got
Did
what's
they have
that?"
it then? DNA, did they have it? At
Yeah,
that
it started in the 80s.
In the 80s, okay.
But I mean, they were definitely had forensics teams and shit like that then, but I think in the 80s it was more like tests. All they could do with it was tell blood type and things like that, but still they were collecting stuff. So if somebody would
Right.
have seen that, they would have gotten the mucus off.
They
and
definitely
hey,
do like hair samples and
Yeah.
But it could have been that place was so fucking disgusting. Like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know, man, because when we get into this and we see John Doe's house for the first time, and the fact that there's not one fingerprint around there. I mean, they looked at that place and that place was pretty fucking nasty.
Yeah, it was.
You know, so he here, you know, we get a little bit of the, you know, showing our muscle a little bit and sending him out to, you know, hey, why don't you go interview the neighbors?
Right.
Let's stay here and do this. And Brad Pitt's not very happy about that. You know, he's done his share.
He's a young hothead.
He's done his share, he says, about that. So
I get that. That does suck. It's like if you go to a new salon in my industry, like you have to go back to being the bitch for a while, and you're like, I've been doing this shit for 10 years. That girl's 11. Like,
Right.
Yeah, you know what? It's a really good point though, in any of that stuff, because it's like, you know, for example, if I go into, I mean, I can only equate it to my. It sounds like I'm going to say something funny, but I'm not. Like if I go like into a studio or whatever, and then I've got to hear like, well, yeah, and then this and this and this or whatever, and they're explaining something to me, and I'm the whole time going, holy fucking shit.
When you're singing in the mic, make sure that you're.
Yeah, you're a fucking idiot. You know, just move over. Let me do
that's
my
why
shit.
I can't switch jobs ever. I can't fucking do
I
that
hate
shit
switching
again.
jobs. It's the worst.
Yeah, I'm not switching jobs. I'm staying right where
See
I'm
how big this stomach is? And the strange thing is, it stretches. Here, look at the size of the cardiac orifice where the food.
Wait, I see what you're pointing at, but that means nothing.
Okay. He's got lines of distension across the duodenum, and the interior wall is ripped open.
This man ate till he burst.
He didn't really burst, not all the way. He was hemorrhaging internally, and there was a hematoma in the rectus and the transverse abdominis muscles.
So he did die by eating.
Yes and no.
What about these bruises up here?
Well, I haven't figured that out yet.
Gun pressed against his head?
Pressed hard enough, sure.
Fuck yeah. Marks from the front side flush with the muzzle. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a homicide.
I wonder if Kevin Spacey killed him by making him eat a wafer thin mint.
What?
You haven't seen that Monty Python skit where he's that big, huge guy's at the dinner table
Yeah.
and he keeps serving him stuff? It's a Monty Python skit. You
Yeah.
don't watch Monty Python?
No.
Oh. Well, he eats and eats and eats and eats, and you know it's all just practical effects. He's just gigantic. He's he doesn't start out that way in the meal. He just keeps bigger
Right.
and bigger and bigger, and he's just all stuff's running down his face, and because he's shoving food in there. And then John Cleese comes up and, would you like a wafer thin mint? And he's like, no, I'm stuffed. And finally he talks him into doing it, eats the mint, and he explodes.
Just explodes.
Yeah.
This one, there's a couple of lines in this where they said he fed him so much that he actually had eaten it all. He had to go back out for another load of the spaghetti sauce or whatever. Like, I mean, they just literally just feeding this motherfucker.
Do you hear about that girl who was trying to be the fattest girl in the world? And
Yeah, and her
her husband was like helping her, like feeding her through a funnel and stuff. And then she charged people to watch her eat. Now
I'm
she
sure that's what Jaret's
Yeah.
doing to me. I'm almost positive.
Now she regrets it though.
You guys keep talking about like live videos and stuff. I just don't know like where we're going with this.
Strangely regrets this decision.
So I wonder could the husband like be charged with a crime?
No.
I don't know, man.
I mean, she's a grown up.
I feel like we gotta step in sometimes. That's not healthy thinking.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm well on my way to being able to give her a run for her money. Let's talk about the cadaver. Have you ever seen a cadaver before?
No.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to keep it that way.
Yeah. I feel like I have, and I've been no, I'm not kidding. I've been thinking about it all day today. Because I was trying to, you know how like sometimes you're just like, man, I know I have, and I can't get it. So I probably dreamed it, and it was just like a real kick-ass fucking dream. But I could do without it. Like, even just seeing dead bodies is the
Have you ever
weirdest
seen
shit.
a snuff film before?
Like where it just shows like people like actually getting killed and
Yeah.
shit? Yeah, totally.
Well, I'm not even talking about like Faces of Death where it's just getting hit by a train or whatever. Early on when the internet was like brand new, it was like right after AOL was kind of a thing. Someone kept talking about snuff films, and I'm like, I don't think that's a thing. I don't think that. So I Googled snuff film, and this thing came up, and it was some Russian, film, and the guy was standing on the guy's face, and he just slit his neck.
Yeah.
And it wasn't fake. This was way long ago. You know what I mean? Before we got really good at that kind of stuff. And this was fucking real. And that fucking freaked me out so bad. I'll never look at anything even close to that kind of. I just think it's so bad for your soul to see stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I have to like intentionally avoid. I mean, even they fucking post shit like that on Facebook sometimes, where there's like a link to like I just can't even get interested because
I have a hard time watching skateboard people fall off the rail.
Yeah,
and
I can watch
land
that.
on their butt.
I mean,
I get chills.
I do the ow, but yeah,
you don't get chills down your spine.
I had a friend.
Like it hurts me physically.
Whenever I was in like middle school, who like pulled up the beheading video with me and all my friends in the room and stuff, and that fucked me up. Like I just was like,
no.
It's the same thing. Like it just makes you feel. I can't even like think about it without feeling sick. Like
I've found myself watching a few of those things. I mean, it's one of those things where there's no way they're going to really fucking show this. Then they show it. But I tell you one though that I remember watching. We watched the. We were actually in the studio. We were at Valve Studios. We had it on and we watched the Saddam Hussein hanging, like live on that dude's phone that was streaming from it or whatever. And like that made me oddly like just sick to my stomach because he starts yelling at everybody or whatever, and then he's just fucking gone.
I was weirdly fine with that.
There used to be stuff that would just kind of pop up, like kind of like the same thing. Like before, there was really like spam folders and every fucking thing that you thought was $1 million was a fucking porn site, and you're like, I'm like 12, I don't know what to fucking do. But there was this thing that used to freak me out, and it was like
Nigeria.
some guy that like walks up in front of like a group of people and like has like an envelope and he pulls out a gun and just shoots himself in the head, and I was like 12. Ugh. And like I still don't know if that was real or not. It's still like fucked up.
Well, recently the guy that put it out on his Facebook that was just walking up killing random people or whatever. I watched that, and then
I couldn't watch it.
And then the reporter that got killed live on the
I remember
air.
that.
I watched that one, and I don't know. I mean,
I can't do it. I just can't click on. Like it just makes me feel like weird.
And I could watch movie stuff all day long because I don't know, something in my head that says this isn't real. But when I know it's real, oh my God, it just fucks me up.
And if I may speak freely,
We're all friends here.
this should not be his first assignment.
Oh, come on. I knew it. This is not my first assignment, you dick.
It's too soon for him.
Hey, man, I'm right here. You can say that shit to my face, Captain.
It's too soon for you.
Captain, if we could just talk in private. Obviously, this isn't working. It's a personal thing. Maybe it'd be better.
Shut up, Mills. Look, I don't have anyone else to put on this, and you know it. This is Metro. You don't just get to swap.
Give it to me.
Say what?
Yeah, he doesn't want it. Fuck him. Sorry, but we'll see you later. Have a nice time. Give it to me.
No.
he is good here. I mean, it does seem like very good.
I'm inclined to agree, though. Like, I don't think either of these two people should be assigned to this case. He's about to retire. He should be sitting at a fucking desk, not doing some dangerous murder case.
Right.
And then he is brand new. Like, he doesn't even know where the fucking bathrooms are yet.
Well, I feel like
hindsight's a bitch,
Well, and I feel like though in real life, if we were talking about that, I think you would have him at the desk looking through. Everybody else would be reporting to him and bringing him the evidence, and he'd be telling him what to do. But
he's right. This thing could have gone on for years. Like they need to just give him something that lasts a fucking week. Here's some papers. Like
do paperwork.
Or just go home.
I think that's what you do when you're about to write. You just sit at the desk and write it out.
Yeah, well, it's not like that in the movies. Half the time those motherfuckers get shot,
But they make it clear that he's valuable and his mind is valuable. So they
Murtaugh definitely didn't sit at the desk.
Who?
Murtaugh.
Who's that?
Riggs and Murtaugh.
Riggs
Lethal
and
Weapon.
Oh, that's right. As supposed to maybe my day off. Isn't that what it was? Or I'm supposed to be retired or something like that.
Too old for this shit.
Come in.
Have you heard the news?
Nope, haven't heard.
Eli Gould was found murdered this morning. Someone broke into his law firm and bled him to death. Wrote the word greed on the floor.
So,
greed is good. Ask John Stossel.
So what?
Ask John Stossel.
What is John Stossel from 2020?
He has a whole special on greed and how it's not bad. I think God got that one wrong.
Because why? Because he makes people try harder? Or?
No, it's just everyone should be greedy because they should be selfish and they should take care of themselves. If everyone was selfish and took care of themselves, then we would have less problems. I don't want to get into a big discussion over this, everyone, but that's what the special is about.
I see what you're saying that John Stossel says.
Right, exactly.
I'm with you. I mean, I'm not with you. I'm just so. Again, Brad Pitt comes into this fucking crime scene. He walks in,
Right. Spits everywhere.
takes his jacket off, right? Sits in the motherfucker's chair, tells the forensic people to go out and get coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, none of this.
Yeah, I
Is a
think it
thing.
was more style back then than realism, because now, because of CSI and everything else, everyone's really acutely attuned to, whoa, you can't do that. You can't step there. You can't touch this thing
Right.
until this is up. Or you have to be some sort of renegade cop that says, fuck all that. I'm going to move the head so I can see what's under there so I can
Right.
get my job done.
The more true crime things though that I listen to, it's crazy to me like how much something like that can just botch a whole fucking investigation.
Right.
You
I mean,
know
think
what
about the OJ case. Jesus.
I mean, the one thing that I really never knew was the transferring of the evidence or whatever, like how, like it can't even switch. It's not like they just fucking stick it in a box at the crime. I mean, it literally has to be handed to people at certain times.
And you have to sign for it. I had it from this
Yeah.
from this point in time to this point in time.
Yeah.
And then I put it into this locker
Right.
at this time, and then it sat there and no one touched it until, it has to, it's a whole fucking thing.
And
Did you see the OJ special where they redid it all with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
No, so that was the thing. Is that the one with David Schwimmer in it? Or-
Yes, it
Okay.
was outstanding.
So we did start to watch it, and then
Did you not like it?
No, I don't think it's that we disliked
Oh.
it. I think we basically kind of started it on a night where we couldn't finish it, and we just never dove back in.
Dude, it is so good. I learned so much more than I thought. I thought I knew everything about the case. I did
Right.
not know shit about the case.
Which one?
The OJ one with Cuba Gooding Jr.
We started to watch
David
it.
Schwimmer.
It has the David Schwimmer, and then
Yeah.
And I thought they nailed the casting. The casting was insane.
yeah, was David Schwimmer Kardashian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Kardashian.
Yeah. So, which
Yeah.
is so crazy to think about.
Which actually, yeah, I think he was doing a really good job in it, because I kind of thought I was going to be like, Ross from Friends.
I know,
Ross from
he
Friends,
totally
but
nailed it.
Yeah, he did well.
Yeah, all those guys can act.
And then John Travolta played the other.
Not the guy that invented LegalZoom.
Maybe
No, that Shapiro.
Shapiro.
Shapiro he created LegalZoom.
Yeah, it was Shapiro that he played.
As if the motherfucker didn't have enough money. He went out and created the one thing that everybody uses when they don't want to spend money on
I'm
the
just going to think of something awesome, but then I'm like, everything's already been invented. Then something else comes, and I'm like,
I
fuck.
know. It's so bad.
Oh,
me.
inventing something?
Yeah,
That's fucking frustrating as
it
shit.
is.
It's just fucking.
Or somebody else invents it, and I'm like, I'll buy that from you for $1,000. Then I sell it for $1 million.
Right.
Times $1 million.
So-
$1 million didn't sound like enough after I said it. I wanted
Right.
more money.
Well, yeah, it wasn't enough when
I suck at that. I would suck in the Shark Tank.
$1 million wasn't enough when the fucking Austin Powers movies came out.
Right.
I know.
So Greed is written on the floor. We're back to talking to Morgan Freeman. We're kind of filling him in on this, and that's where we're at here. But one thing that Casey noticed, I didn't even pick up on it, but that a guy's already taking his name off the door.
I know.
And
I
you
thought
hear
that
just
was kind of shitty.
He's
Yeah.
just like, could you do that later, please? Whatever. But I thought this was interesting, and I don't know if they ever explained it, but so I guess maybe they explained it, and this is why it was a clue, because they found the plastic in his stomach. And so when he went back,
It was pieces of the floor.
yeah, so I guess that was the clue. He figured that out, that he had drugged the refrigerator.
Yeah,
and he needed to look
This is what
behind
I
there.
thought about the whole time. Holy shit, you have to be one hell of a detective sleuth to figure that. I mean,
Yeah.
the slivers in the floor that was in, I don't think that anyone would actually figure that out. So no one figures this out. Does Kevin Spacey just get pissy and run off and
No,
kick a
worst
dog?
case
Or what?
scenario, they probably have to move all his shit out anyway, and they'd find that stuff behind the fridge,
Yes, but I mean, I just thought he was making things way too difficult.
This one, to me, the first one, I didn't think the plastic pieces in the floor was all that crazy. Because, again, he noticed it on the floor. He'd seen the slivers. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, they pulled out the refrigerator, whatever.
It was still
The
super by
the fucking
chance.
fingerprints
Like,
saying, help
Kevin
me.
Spacey couldn't know that he would find that. Like that's not they're definitely going to find these things. He's definitely going to see these little things, and then the same guy is going to find them in his stomach. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying, yes, it makes sense that he found them because of those steps that he went through. But Kevin Spacey, no way he could have known, oh, I'll take a little sliver off the floor, put him in his stomach, and then he'll know to move the refrigerator. Like that seems like a bridge too far for me.
The one that got me was the obvious one. Like how at the end, how is he gonna know that Brad Pitt's gonna be the one that's holding the gun on him out in the field?
I was doing that too.
You know, it's like, well, why wouldn't Brad Pitt's the young guy.
It may not have mattered.
I don't think it would have mattered
because he could have run back and then shot him or something. I don't know.
Right. Maybe, but I mean
because the guy was supposed to deliver the box to Brad Pitt, not to Morgan Freeman.
Right. Yeah.
So no matter where he was,
he just needed the taunting, I guess. You know, all of that. But you know, it definitely some liberties taken there. But I don't know. It's fucking. I really liked it. Second time I've ever seen it, and I really do like that movie. I mean, it's definitely not one. It's not Pulp Fiction. I'm not going to watch it 100 times, but
knowing the ending, you know, how it was going to end. As opposed to, since David Fincher and Brad Pitt are in both of these, Fight Club, like the second time I watched Fight Club, I didn't enjoy it as much, as we all know. This one I enjoyed it. It was fine. I liked the anticipation of knowing what was going to happen, and I was like, all right, I can't wait to get to the end where this.
Yeah, it had been like long enough that since I'd seen it, that like everything was still kind of like, oh yeah, you know.
There's not a lot in this one though where they leave it to where it's super difficult to understand. I mean, you know, in a lot of movies that are like this, it's pretty easy to get lost and need to press pause and try to. Even Fight Club to me was like that, where it's just like, wait, what the fuck what is happening here? And you got to pause it or whatever. And this one, it was like, okay, the way that the movie's put together. Each of the clues leads to the next thing or whatever, and it's all tidied up in a little package with Gwyneth Paltrow's head in it, and then it's the fucking end of the movie.
Right.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
Well, Chris, as you know, the reason that we're here having this conversation with you is that we're going to play a game. Now, the rules of this game have changed quite a bit since it was created. It used to be called 5 questions, and I would simply ask you 5 questions. It's changed a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and just explain the rules to you in case you haven't heard a new version of this. Now, it's a game called 5 questions where we will ask you 6 questions, and the high score is 7, okay? So you're going to play the game. You're going to get 5 questions from me, then you get a bonus question from Rich. And then afterwards, you would normally get a super hard bonus question from Will. But Will is not here today. So, Casey, would you like to do the super hard bonus question today? No, she has no interest.
I'm not prepared.
She has no interest in that at all.
That was too much pressure.
Yeah. So instead of that, me and Rich will farkle to see who will be the one asking you the super hard bonus question. Now, you will have a decision to make, Chris, and that is this. If you get all 6 correct, and you get the bonus question correct, you can tie the high score of 7. Now, if you get that question wrong, you will lose all your points. Now, you can choose whether or not to answer that question or not. However, if you choose not to answer it, you lose all your points anyway. So, best to just give it a shot. All right? So, were you able to watch the movie 7?
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
All right.
I watched it last week. So.
Okay, I like it. So, true or false, when Gwyneth Paltrow, Tracy, makes the call to the voice of God, Morgan Freeman, pretty much for the first 2 minutes of the phone call, it's the most uncomfortable phone conversation in the history of film. True or false?
That is true.
That is true. Absolutely true. We were just, even Morgan Freeman, the actor, was like, shit, this is really getting weird. Like, I'm trying to act like I'm on this phone call, but I think she really is trying to do some stuff.
She's definitely lonely.
Like, something is happening. You know what I mean? Can you, for the question 2, can you name 3 of the 7 deadly sins represented in the movie 7?
Sloth, gluttony, and greed.
Yep.
I like it. Plus, I love that you picked 2 that start with a G. I would give you bonus points for that, but that doesn't happen in this game anymore. Question number 3, of course, will not be about the movie. Perhaps one of the greatest bands ever to grace your shores is the band Bowling for Soup. Can you name your favorite member of the band Bowling for Soup?
They're all really good guys.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go for the singer.
The singer is great. Yes, that is correct. I think
he's the most famous.
Yes, he is definitely the most famous. I would have also accepted Gary Wiseman.
I once saw Gary carrying like 5 beers at Download Festival. I was very impressed.
I do believe that. Well, it's at Download Festival. Sometimes we run out where we are, so we have to take turns reconning the press tent, and you pretty much just go in there and get whatever the sponsor beer is. All right. Well, you're doing great. You've gotten 3 out of the 5 questions correct. Question number 4, the infamous line from Se7en that pretty much ends the movie. What's in the box was delivered by the actor Brad Pitt. Can you name the actress's head that was in the box?
But as you don't see it, I'm just going to guess that it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
That is a good guess. You know what? And I like that you thought about it. It could have been a trick question. We do not know how many actresses had actually been beheaded that year. So
it could have been a stand-in.
It could have been a magician's assistant, and it went wrong. They just wanted to get the weight right. You just never know. Just fucking crazy. All right, question number 5 we're going to go to now. And again, Chris, you're doing fucking great. Question number 5. Brad Pitt, though this may not be the strongest movie, but according to Rich and I, is the sexiest man alive every single year. True or false?
That's true.
That is true. Absolutely. Fantastic job. You got all 5 of mine right. Now we go over to Richard Kubert Coleman for the bonus question.
Chris, would Gwyneth Paltrow give better blowjobs before or after the box?
Probably before.
I believe that's correct.
Unfortunately.
Yes. That is correct.
But she's more likely to blow you after the box.
Right. And I would say this, that I have heard she's into some weird shit, so it probably doesn't matter to her either way.
I have a good bonus question.
Okay, super. Okay, so now we're going to go to standing in for the King of Sting this week is Richard Coleman.
Chris, can you name all of the UK political parties?
Oh.
It's
Labour, Conservative, Lib Dems, Green Party, and then a bunch of racist people.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect.
Sounds right to me.
There's 12 parties.
Yeah, it was a good try.
Yeah, it was a good try.
Is it not supposed to be movie related?
Yeah, no. The super hard bonus question could be anything. One week it was like what
is this tattoo?
What his tattoo is. Like there's nothing. There's no. There's someday somebody's gonna get this right though. But until then, I'm afraid it wasn't you, my friend. Chris Holt, thank you so very much for staying up so late and talking to us.
No problem.
I'm sure we will talk again. We're actually going to be changing a few things up where this concerns. So we'll be talking to you more frequently in this capacity. So stay tuned for that, and I will hopefully see you when I'm over there in September.
You will. I'm coming to Leeds and Nottingham.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, you have to me and Casey are going to try to do as many of the meetups as we can. So hopefully we will see you. And if not, then a beer after. It's not a big place. It's not going to be hard to find me. I'm the guy that looks like the singer of Bowling for Soup. All right, buddy. Thank you so much again, man. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your day off tomorrow.
Nice one. You too.
Okay, man. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
All right. I'm confused.
It means that this is beginning. This was found behind the same refrigerator, written in Greece. There are 7 deadly sins, Captain. Gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, pride, lust, and envy.
Here we see Morgan Freeman jumps in the cab. He's obviously he can't sleep or whatever. He's heading somewhere, and he comes into the library late at night. All the guards are playing poker, and I actually thought that exchange was really cool because obviously he comes in there a lot at that time of night, And he's like, all this knowledge around here, you guys just want to play cards? And I thought to myself, you know, if I had that job, that's fucking exactly what I'd be doing too.
No, you wouldn't. You'd be sitting on your phone.
Well, that's true.
I had a job in a warehouse in my dad's army base that he was in command of. They had to hire Germans for like a certain percentage of the employees that worked on the base because of the agreement they have with Germany, the U.S. Army. And so there were Germans that worked there. And because they have to hire a certain amount, they mostly just sit around and do nothing in the warehouses until, you know, they need to count inventory or something like that.
Right.
So I got a job to work with the Germans in the warehouse, and we literally just sat there all day long and did nothing. I read books the entire time.
Did you?
That's all I did was just read books, read. That's when I read The Stand, which is my favorite book.
Yeah, I worked at that bookstore like for 4 years. But we had a computer, and I was in high school, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to get on MySpace forever. And then one of the owners was just like, you can't be on the computer while you're here. And I'm like, okay, it's the size of the studio that we're in right now.
Right.
And nobody came in there except for like 2 old people a week and then this hooker that tried to use our phone all the time.
How'd they stay in business?
Look, we didn't. It all closed down.
Oh.
And she called me one day and was like, come get whatever you want. We're fucking bailing out. So then
it was all because you were on the computer instead of fucking...
Then I wasn't allowed to, so I just read the whole time.
Oh, okay.
And I really like kind of chose it after a while, you know?
You get addicted to it a little bit, but I just can't spare that kind of time. Like, I don't read because that takes up a lot of time. I could be doing so many things.
Well, I like used to read in the bathtub, and now I like watch episodes of like Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt.
So I started something this week.
Reading?
I was going to tell you guys about this, and this seems like a good time. Our friend Diane was reading a book by
Diane?
Yes, her. My favorite author is Christopher Moore.
Right.
And so on Audible, if you go and read a book, basically they'll let you just send that book to somebody for free. Obviously, they're trying to get people. Anyway, so it's like a book on tape kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I really like it. Like I've listened to 2 hours of this book. It's like a 10-hour.
Oh, this is your first Audible.
First Audible. Like I did listen to books on tape back in the day. I used to.
You realize that you can't count this as reading, right?
No. I don't count it. And it's not that, but it's definitely you get those.
It's a podcast.
It's the same imagery in your head, obviously, and I fucking it's not true. Like I'm going to learn to read better. I'm 45 years old.
Are you reading the unabridged, or sometimes they abridge the audio?
Yeah, so
version.
it's not a short version. That's why it's like over 10 hours,
Yeah.
and the guy's like reading pretty quick and doing the voices and stuff like that. But so I thought it would be really confusing to listen to because with Christopher Moore. Everything's really far-fetched. There's a lot of complicated names, and it's actually like very much sort of Games of Thrones-y. It's not necessarily medieval or anything like that. This book happens to be.
But that complex.
But it's that complex where there's a lot of moving parts and people and complicated names, complicated places, or whatever. But like I said, I'm 2 hours in. That's what I listened to on the plane. I would kind of listen to it, and then I'd catch myself falling asleep, and I'd press pause, doze off for a little bit, and then when I'd wake back up or whatever, I'd press play again. And
I would definitely, that's what I tried to do initially was before podcasting was try to listen to audiobooks.
Yeah.
But the way my fucking brain works, I space out.
See, when I was first started college, because I have a tendency, like when I read, like I do the thing where like I'll go 3 pages
right.
and then I didn't put any of it in my head.
Exactly.
So
that's me.
I would get frustrated. So I used to read the book, and then after I read the book, then I would listen to an audiobook. So then it would kind of just piece everything back together,
you know? Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of time.
I had to. So I'd have to listen to it. And then sometimes the second time I'd like read along while I was listening. So I'd be putting the words into my head as I was reading along. Because I remember they used to do that like in high school.
Yeah.
They make you read along to audiobooks.
That would be kind of cool.
And it made me really focus.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm the same way. I space out, but I space out during podcasts. And so what I do is...
That's fine because who cares? You can pop right back in.
I
no big deal.
It's important to me because I do listen to a lot of true crime, and the stories are, you don't want to miss a section. But what I do is if I catch myself, my mind wandering or me paying attention to driving, or something like that, you can hit the little 15-second button.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, go back.
And then if I find that I'm doing it again, I turn it off and I turn on the radio, and I don't like, most of the time it's just a Howard Stern or whatever, right. But then I can just kind of zone out. But anyway, this audiobook thing, it's super cool, and I think I'm gonna keep up with it. So if any of you guys have any suggestions, I'm doing some self-help stuff. I'm gonna learn to get fucking organized.
Are y'all like that with movies at all? Because Jaret will get on me because I'll be like on my phone while I'm watching and then be like, "What happened?" But then
Yeah.
sometimes I'm watching right along with him, and then I'm like, what the fuck happened? Because
That happened
even though I'm
3
looking,
times today. Yeah.
even though I'm looking at the screen
Yeah.
and listening to it, like I just fucking space and stop watching it.
It doesn't happen to me during movies almost
I feel like that's
ever.
Weird.
Almost ever.
Happens to me
it
all the
doesn't-
time, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen to me in movies either.
But definitely during TV shows, like things where it's like I don't feel like I'm investing as much in it, you know.
Well, if you have a device in your hand, that's
you
one
can't-
thing.
you
But I'm
can't-
talking about when I don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it did happen to her a few times today. Oh,
You could put me in a room with no distractions and nothing around me and a TV, and I could just go into my own head for like 30 minutes.
We're
Fucking
getting to the point
millennials.
where this happened when she calls him or whatever, and you just go, how did she know? How did he know she was pregnant? I'm like, well, she just fucking told him,
And I
That's-
didn't hear it.
That was the whole reason
And I
for this
missed-
meeting.
I missed the entire like the lawyer. Like I didn't even know. Like I didn't even know they were in a crime scene, and all of a sudden there was just blood and grease.
Yeah,
I'm
she
like,
wasn't
oh.
on her phone either. It was just a thing. So back to the, we find the awkward moment where Brad Pitt starts to move into his office, and he's just like moves over to the other side. But just the whole, no, you're not supposed to call me here. No, seriously, no. Oh, no, I don't think. Okay, hold on.
Because he's trying to be the new tough guy.
Yeah.
He's trying to,
But he's really sweet to his wife.
Right,
Oh, he
right.
loves her so
Yeah.
much, which is the point.
Right, yeah.
But then he just has to go. It's my wife. She wants to talk to you.
I thought that was so great.
I thought it was great, and you knew what was
Yeah,
coming.
yeah.
He's like, I got invited to a late supper. I have little moments where things make me really happy, and I loved the when they come home. It's, how's the kids? And he just runs
the
in
dogs.
and dives into the dogs because that would 100% be me. And but so a really funny thing happens here. They sit down to dinner, and then it's this quiet, awkward moment or whatever, and they figure out he figures out that they had bought this place sight unseen, as far as the subway is concerned, and it shakes the whole house. So you hear Morgan Freeman laugh, maybe for the first time in the history of his movie career,
And it is terrifying.
and she was just like, "This is the scariest fucking thing." And then he
His
just
laugh
keeps
face is
going.
awful.
Yeah, she was just like, "That is fucking terrifying." And then he just keeps laughing.
So
It looks like if he stops, like you're gonna die.
Right.
He's gonna fucking murder you.
were you guys confused as to the 10 commandments versus the 7 deadly sins?
No.
No? Because the 7 deadly sins aren't even really a biblical thing.
It's not a biblical thing.
Yeah, it's
No.
like before the Bible kind of thing.
No. Well, I mean, it's written about like since then and like fucking whatever. I mean, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not like a list. It's not like a list from God or whatever.
Right.
I think, but I don't know. I did some research on it today before I came over, but like there was sort of like these 5 sins that are frowned upon or whatever, and then there's a 6th one, and then there is a 7th one, but it's not as bad or something like that. It's really weird. All I'm saying is that, dear God, if you're gonna just put it all in one list.
Well, it is since the birth of Christ, by the way. So it was in the 13th century, and it was Pope Gregory Gregory the First or Pope Gregory the Great.
So it was a pope that made these?
He's the one that elaborated on it in the 13th century, and it was first enumerated by Pope Gregory, and then elaborated on in the 13th century by Thomas Aquinas. And sure, it's basically vain or pride, greed or covetousness, lust or illicit sexual desire, envy, gluttony, which is usually understood to include drunkenness. Jesus Christ, we're fucked, Casey.
I'm just saying you can't have 2 lists. I mean, I'm going to get confused and accidentally eat myself.
Yeah, I'd be the one getting fucking spaghetti shoved in my mouth till I
so
explode.
This was definitely more of like a Catholic thing, like a Roman Catholic deal, than and then it sort of crossed into Christianity, which I guess Catholicism is Christianity. That's fucking confusing.
It
right?
is.
Jesus Christ, that's too much for me.
Wait.
Leave this side.
What?
Here. This painting, it's upside down.
On earth would you know that painting was upside down? Like when they turned it upside down, I couldn't really tell that they turned it upside down. It was so similar. And that's the other thing. It was like, that's the other thing where I'm like, that was so subtle.
Yeah.
That Kevin Spacey, no way could he have known that someone was going to notice that fucking painting was upside down.
The reason that she would have noticed is because they were into material things. They spent money on it. I'm sure they were like big art collectors because that's what stinky rich people do.
You would have noticed?
Yeah, especially just because she's looking at like,
I'm saying that painting,
but an abstract painting.
But but she's essentially probably looking at a picture of that wall because she's looking. They're like, notice anything in the room that's anything different. You know, and first,
if you look at a painting a bunch
I'm not
of times,
saying it's
you're
impossible.
Know if it's upside down.
I'm just saying that Kevin Spacey couldn't have known that. I'm not saying that she wouldn't notice, that someone wouldn't notice. I'm saying it was a fucking long shot for him to assume that she would notice.
It was a long shot for him to assume that they would even show her all of those photos and ask that.
Right.
For sure.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
Definitely.
Well, put little blood glasses on her face. I mean, you know, that's a hint.
Well, you know what? Fantastic point, because that led Morgan Freeman right there. He was like, wait a minute, it's not what she's seen, it's what she hasn't seen. It's like put the glasses on her. Very good, babe.
Good job,
babe. She was
Thanks.
paying attention. So, but when they're in this thing, they get into the office or whatever, and Brad Pitt's just like, see, he's fucking with us. This is us,
Right.
just bending over.
That would be me.
Right?
We're being fucked with right now. I couldn't handle that.
So I didn't like the fingerprint thing. I just didn't. It was kind of stupid. It's like,
I got confused as to that. Whose fingerprints were they?
So he had basically cut off the hand of Sloth.
Okay.
And then used those fingerprints to spell this out.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, for some reason, I got it in my head that because later on he shaves off his fingerprints, and I thought that it was something about that, but they couldn't tie it to him because he didn't have I don't know. I got
whenever
confused.
they looked at the fingerprints, that's how they found the Sloth guy.
Okay.
He was the rapist that was associated with the lawyer.
And Kevin Spacey's has had his fingerprints off for years and years and years, which is why there was no fingerprints in the house.
Then why were they all bandaged and bloody?
You had to keep doing them.
Yeah, he had recently
back.
done it
they
again.
grow back.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's what he said. He just keeps cutting them off.
I think after a while, the scar tissue wouldn't do that. Like, I've got a scar on my finger that's still there. Like, you can cut them off enough times, so you're just done.
Or you just put gloves on. You know, just fucking put some gloves on.
Well, can't they then just wait until it grows back and then fingerprint him then?
Yeah.
There's no fingerprints anywhere.
Oh, well.
Well, and
he was trying to hide who his real identity was.
Well,
though,
also
right?
the
never
reason,
found out. That's
sure, that's just.
But I'm saying once they grow back, then they could find out from his past.
And he had just come back from a crime scene, so he had just shaved the fingerprints
Right.
off, put the little,
on his thing.
I used to buy those at the drugstore where my
The
parents
tiny
went.
finger condoms.
Yeah, and we used to take them to school. I'd be like, I got a condom here, like whatever. It didn't matter that there was
out of the package and tiny.
Yeah, just out of the package and tiny. You know, I was probably in like third grade, anyways. To be fair, it probably would have fit fine. You know, I mean, I was a late bloomer in many ways, but yeah, I mean, fuck it. I used to think those were condoms.
How do you know what a condom was in third grade?
I had an older brother who was 5 years older than me,
Yeah,
and I
do it.
watched a lot of movies that were very, very inappropriate.
In third grade?
Oh yeah, my whole life. I was never censored once. So my parents wanted to see. I've told you guys this before. My parents wanted to see rated R movies, and we were there. So we're going to see rated R movies. You know, like I saw Rambo in the theater. That fucking movie was crazy.
Yeah.
My dad took me to see Bachelor Party when I was sick. You know,
that was
didn't have anything
crazy.
else to do.
You meant what you said in Mrs. Gould, didn't you? About catching this guy. Yeah. I wish I still thought the way you do.
Why don't you tell me what the hell it is you think we're doing, man?
Picking up the pieces. We're collecting all the evidence, taking all the pictures and samples, writing everything down, noting the time things happen.
That's all.
That's all. Putting everything in the neat little piles and filing it away on the off chance it will ever be needed in the courtroom. Picking up diamonds on a deserted island. saving them in case we get rescued.
That is a thing, man. I mean, I think about that all the time because you just can't unsee things.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, yeah. I mean,
the Russian has these crazy proverby kind of sayings that she always pulls out of her ass. Like for almost any scenario that you can think of, she'll go, well, in Russia we say blah, 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 blah. One of the things that reminded me of this was the diamonds on the island. She has a saying, you're just throwing diamonds in front of pigs. She says that a lot. There's one where it's just a dog sitting on hay. Like, these are all common Russian sayings.
Right.
But throwing diamonds in front of pigs means when you're trying to debate or convince someone that just isn't convincible.
Ah.
You know? So
I don't know anybody like that.
And then the dog sitting on the hay means the dog is sitting on the hay even though he doesn't care about the hay or want the hay or anything. He's just sitting on it and he doesn't want you to have it. She's got tons of them. She's like every scenario she'll come up with some little Russian. In Russia, we say.
Right.
I like rednecky Texas ones better.
Yeah, Sean Bailey, our old tour manager, has all of those. I mean, it was every single day. It was
Jennifer
something.
does. Have you ever heard Jennifer just pull one of those out of her ass?
Yeah.
They're always so funny.
Well, the conversation on the way to get Victor, you ever been shot? And, no, thank the Lord, I've only had to pull my gun out 3 times.
Right,
and, of course, we actually see him pull his gun out a few more times in this thing. So, obviously, fuck, shit's heating up.
Right.
Right? But I thought Brad Pitt's story I thought that was pretty great. This is an example of the good acting where, it's his first fucking day, right? And he has to pull his gun and this guy gets shot and he rides in the ambulance with him and, pass away. But not to take away from what Brad Pitt, his acting there, but the fucking scene is completely stolen by Morgan Freeman's just blank stare and just him absorbing all that information and just acting with his mannerisms, his face.
He's so good.
Fucking
he knows what he's doing.
insane. Just unbelievable. And so we get into we're about to go to where the sloth lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fucking SWAT team is like, SWAT before dicks, move out of the way.
I love that. That's so good.
Man, god damn.
This picture was dated 3 days ago. This must be the first one. Look. It's dated exactly 1 year ago today.
I got a hair sample, I got a stool sample, I got piss, I got fingernails. He's laughing at us. You got what you deserved. He's alive! Trucker's alive!
What do you think the worst smelling thing in there was? This like rotting guy or all those goddamn Christmas trees? Because too many of those can be too many of those.
Well, I thought it was because he'd been dead for so long or something. That's why they had those to keep the stink away.
Well, I'm sure he still smelled. I mean,
he stunk because he's just sitting there rotting, alive and just shitting and pissing all over himself, and
it shouldn't be as putrid as an actual dead person, I would think, but still.
Yeah, I bet it didn't smell good.
That dude's a fighter, though. I would have swallowed my tongue a long time ago.
He did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, that's what they said. Like, oh, yeah, his tongue's been gone for a very long time.
Oh,
like,
he probably cut out the tongue so he can't swallow.
He
chewed it off. Yeah.
Oh, he chewed off his own tongue so he could eat it.
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking. This is bad.
This is really bad.
This is like one of those.
I'm not even sure it's possible. That seems crazy.
But he's a rapist.
Yeah.
Oh, was
so
he?
Is that a thing?
Oh, then I don't feel bad anymore.
Yeah, so but when they wanted him back in the room, they just started calling, Dix, get in here, Dix. It's so fucking funny.
I got a kick out of that.
Me too. So this guy's got mush brain. He's fucked, and then the doctors decided he's going straight to hell. So we've got that going for us. We've already talked about Tracy calling him, uncomfortable phone conversation.
Right.
if you'd like to hear us talk about that a little bit more, you can always listen into our. Oh, actually, it's going to be in 5 questions. Maybe we should just go to 5 questions here.
Okay.
Is that a thing? Can I just say that?
Maybe. I usually put it around an hour. So are we an hour in?
Let's see.
I feel like we've been here forever.
We're about an hour in.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, the conversation, they meet at the restaurant or whatever, and he's definitely unprepared for this, but I didn't really think that's where it was going either. That,
this is at the diner when she
so she's telling him, and then
weird.
And it's like she's essentially sort of like asking him if she should keep the baby or not.
Right.
Like
it's so fucking weird.
And then his story,
I don't have any friends. Call somebody. You got friends somewhere. You don't have phones?
I thought the same thing.
Yeah,
You're a teacher.
Weird.
Like, yeah,
You're
you
a
don't know
5th grade-
anybody in New York, but fucking you know someone somewhere.
Upstate, you're a 5th grade teacher. You could call any of those teachers.
Literally anyone.
They'll be glad to hear your drama shit.
Right.
At 100% they will listen. All right, now I have a surprise for everybody. I did not know this, and I'm super excited to announce that the Richter scale may be the most degrading scale in all of scales, besides the one that tells me how much I weigh every day, is making a comeback. Here with the Richter scale, I assume we're talking about Gwyneth Paltrow.
We are talking about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Right,
this isn't a trick.
Mr.
We
Rich
are actually
Coleman.
talking about the female star of the movie.
You will find yourself asking,
what's Rich's deal?
Maybe. All right. Hair, 0. Eyes, 0. Nose, 0. Mouth, 0. Face, 0. Arms, 0. Boobs, -3. Waist, 0. Legs, 0. Ass, 0. Overall, a -11, which gives us a total of -1.3.
Rich is hating on shit.
Fucking
Rich
hate
does
her.
not love-
I hate her.
you just don't like
Oh,
her.
I fucking hate that.
Why do you hate her?
She's the worst.
Are you a huge Coldplay fan? Is that a thing?
I don't remember the details anymore because I don't really care, but she said something like her plight was just as much as the I don't know. It was something really stupid and it just pissed me off. And now I just fucking hate her.
You're an insane person.
Like she said her life was rough or something bullshit like that. And like housewives are like, what the fuck are you talking about, bitch?
Well, yeah, she's the daughter of fucking 2
right.
huge
I mean, she
stars.
doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't.
Who are her parents?
You know what I mean? Blythe Danner or something like that.
Yeah, Blythe Danner and
Bruce Paltrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
This note he left. His first words to us. Long is the way and hard that out of hell leads up to light.
Fuck him, so what?
He's right so far. Imagine the will it takes to keep a man bound for a full year. To sever his hand and use it to plant fingerprints. To insert tubes into his genitals. This guy's methodical, exacting, and worst of all, patient.
He's a nutbag. And just because the fucker's got a library card doesn't make him Yoda.
Terrible acting by Brad Pitt.
Yeah. And are we sure that a library card can't? Because if you get a library card, it's a government institution.
Right.
And if you could get the name Yoda on it, because they don't really fucking care.
Yeah.
You just tell them your name's Yoda and then you give you a library card. Then you use that library card to get 3 other pieces of identification because you use that as like, oh, I'm Yoda. And then you've got other identification. Then you've got a whole thing of identification. Then you can go to like the Social Security and get the office and get a Social Security card. Of course, you might have to play like you got amnesia.
So they are not acting like that a library card's that easy to get because they're saying you have to show some like a phone bill, like proof of address or something at least.
Oh,
No, when I lived in White Wright, Texas, you just walked in there and you were like, I want a library card. They're like, you're 6. And I'm like, still want one. And they give you one. You go take all the books home. And then 6 months later, your parents owe them fucking $40.
How does the whole amnesia thing work anyway? So if you get amnesia and you don't have, like you fell off the boat, you get amnesia, Kurt Russell takes you and your kids or whatever, takes you with his kids.
Takes you hostage.
And then how do you determine who you are? And like, how do you determine that you're an American citizen?
The greatest Overboard reference of all time. Holy shit. Like, That was fucking digging deep in there too. That's totally not where I.
Nobody was going for it. I just kept digging.
Amnesia. I always go straight to that terrible Full House episode where Michelle falls off a horse.
Oh, really?
I watched that recently, and you were like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen."
What's the one? That one's terrible, by the way. What's
it's
the
so
one?
Bad.
What's that Sandra Bullock movie where like she's in love with the dude and he falls, and then she convinces him that they're in a relationship and stuff?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's Bill Pullman.
It's all the same shit, though, right?
Right. But seriously, if you have amnesia and no ID, how do you prove that you're an American citizen in this time?
Oh, Jason Bourne style. You just fucking find a safe, and there's just like 100 in there for you.
That's probably a good point.
Hold on. Does that matter if you're in America? Like,
okay. Here's what I'm getting at. So all you have to do to become an American citizen is learn the language really well, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then, get the accent down. And
not be from the Middle East.
And then just swim in a river somewhere that's cold, and then say you got amnesia and I don't have my ID. And then people will be all pity for you, and then they're like, well, we'll just give you an identity.
But they have shit that can prove whether or not you're lying and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like that creepy guy from what country that like pretended he was that little boy.
Holy shit. Have you ever seen that? Pretender, I believe it's called.
I don't think it was
Pretender.
There's a TV show.
Now there's
Imposter. The Imposter. It's a documentary.
This documentary about this kid who pretended to be...
But he wasn't a kid. He was a grown man.
But he pretended to be a dead kid and like came back and like started living with the family and shit. I mean,
and the family just... he was like this like 25-year-old like dude from like fucking Spain or Peru.
How'd they figure it out?
Somewhere. It's bullshit. He looked nothing like him. He dyed his hair fucking bleach blonde, and he had brown eyes, and the boy had blue eyes, and said like that the people that kidnapped him did some stuff, but it kind of implies that maybe the family had something to do with the son's disappearance. Oh. So it was almost like good for them to be like, no, this is him, guys.
Nope, that's him. We got contacts.
It's fucked up. You should watch it. The Imposter.
It's fucking crazy.
True crime.
So, and I love that shit.
All the time.
All the time. In fact, she gets out of the mood quite often for the true crime thing, and like it's
only because we've seen all the forensic files.
She doesn't have sex when you watch true crime.
That's not a factor with her. But so anyway, and I'm sympathetic to it, but it's just like then it's just like, oh, but what else are we gonna? I don't know if I want to watch anything. I just want somebody to get killed. And I wanted them.
Yeah, I always make the joke that one time we were sitting there watching TV and there was something and it was just like, coming up this summer, 100 brand new forensic files. And we were like, yeah. Then we were like, thought about it. We're like, oh, that means 100 more people had to die.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not good. But
well, it turns out we had seen them all. It was just 100 new ones released to that channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking A. All right, quick fast forward to the next clip. Here we go. Time to take a field trip. They're taking a field trip. They meet in a restaurant. Creepy guy who stinks sits across from him. It was weird anyway because they were sitting on the same side. Obviously, it's making Brad Pitt and his pizza uncomfortable. Guy comes in. He sits down. He takes the money. He takes like $50-$60 or whatever. Apparently, that's what FBI agents charge to fucking break the law. So they go around. They find this guy. His name's John Doe. You know how they find us? They're talking about these fucking... Now, here's the thing. I bought this. That they're paying attention to like what people rent at the library. Like I actually thought about. I mean,
I think that's a thing.
Well, okay, but then we get back to talking about how easy. And I don't want to re-bring this up, but this is why I have a problem with you guys saying that it's just that easy to get a library card. Like, if you because then that fucks up this whole database plan, and that's what got us to John Doe, whose actually name is fucking John Doe. They go there, they knock on the door. It's like it's very reminiscent of the Pulp Fiction scene where they're walking down the hall because they're fucking arguing the whole way down there, and then knocks on the door and fucking holy shit, all hell breaks loose. We get a shot. We get shots are fired. Our only chase scene for the whole thing. Brad Pitt gets knocked in the fucking face and not shot. And so I thought they missed an opportunity here and I guess it's stupid because this guy's so smart. But like, didn't you even like the second? Would it have made sense for him to like take his wallet or some shit so we know where he lived? So that would bring like the Gwyneth Paltrow thing into it.
Oh, yeah, that would have been
because that's what I kept waiting for.
Or that would have made Brad Pitt to
his wallet's gone and that guy just tackled him.
Hey, I need you to. He knows where I live. I need you to leave or something like that.
Right.
That's probably not a good thing.
So here's the problem with that.
He probably just paid that one dude fucking like $50-$60
right,
and found out.
Problem that I have with the next scene. Okay, the next scene is we can't just knock on the door for some reason thing. Whatever, he's setting him up for this. Why the fuck take him back there? He was just like he just got the shit beat out of him. Why did they walk back up there in the first place? Why are they standing across from that door?
He's only got 7 days.
Well,
Wait, talking about fucking shot at us. Can't go in. No, we can't. We need a warrant. We got probable cause. Come on.
Think about it.
Think.
How did we get here? I can't tell anyone about this.
Oh, come on.
I can't tell anyone about
Get out of
the
the way.
We have no reason to be here. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen.
Get up. Get the fuck out of there.
All right, I'm sorry. But would you just pay attention a minute? If we leave a hole like this, we won't be able to prosecute. The fucking guy will walk. Now, is that what you want?
By the time we go for a warrant, someone else. Nah, fuck that.
We need a reason to knock on this door.
so when he kicks it in, though, he goes, all right, well, I guess we don't have to talk about it anymore. I mean,
I don't think this is a thing anymore if it ever was. I'm almost certain that it's super easy for them to come up with a reason why they were there.
Well, yeah.
Because they could just say an anonymous source called or something.
Sure. I mean, but you would have to, but you can't just kick in a door.
No, they're kicking in the door because they got shot at by the guy that lived there. The reason that they're at the door could be something as innocuous as an anonymous phone call.
This held up for me. I thought that it was actually a good argument by Morgan Freeman because and the thing was,
I liked the scene,
but what he's protecting more than anything is this relationship that he's got with this FBI guy. Right, you know, because it's like that's the whole point: is how did we end up here?
Yeah,
because that's what his supervisors are going to ask him, and then you got to go through all the fucking people. Anyway, hilarious. They're already in there, and he's just like, "Okay, you know what? You give me the rest of that money." You know, they pay the homeless lady. I think for me, the creepiest thing was the trophy cases in John Doe's house. I mean, just the things that he had taken from each of the scenes or whatever, and just the hand floating in there. So this is what I was going to remind you of when you were asking how he made the fingerprints. He had severed the hand. So on Sloth's little trophy case, it's just his hand floating in the fluid or whatever the fuck that you can put dead shit in, you know?
I used to think I wanted my head in one of those after I died, but I think I changed my mind.
Futurama style.
Yeah.
One of the things that I kept expecting to see is I thought I would see like a picture of, you know, his wife or something, you know, and then, but of course he sees the thing, but we don't really think that he was the photographer on the stairs, right?
I don't know.
No, he was.
Yeah,
I know that I mean, obviously he's got I mean, I guess that makes sense, but you know, just him saying, fuck you. And you know, all that shit. Like, I don't know. It didn't really fit his MO to me, you know, but I don't know. What the fuck do I know?
Hello?
I admire you. I don't know how you found me, but imagine my surprise. I respect you law enforcement agents more every day.
Well, I appreciate that, John. I tell you...
No, you listen, all right? I'll be readjusting my schedule in light of today's little setback. I just had to call and express my admiration. Sorry I had to hurt one of you, but I didn't really have a choice, did I? You will accept my apology, won't you? I feel like saying more, but I don't want to ruin the surprise.
Do I need to point out that he tore through the fucking crime scene again? Like he just running around, tipping shit over?
I'm amazed at how long it was until we see Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
And the reason I think when you brought up the credits at the end, why he had that big giant credit, because I bet that when this was released, no one knew Kevin Spacey was in the movie. They didn't credit him. It was because it was a reveal that they wanted to go, holy shit, that's fucking Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, but you can hear his voice. I mean,
yeah, a little bit when they were chasing him, but it was probably one of those. Oh, that sounds familiar, but just because he wasn't Kevin Spacey yet, he was just Kevin Spacey at that point.
This is the first time that I recognized it being him. That's what I was saying. Like I thought, like the photographer guy, like sounded like some just New York photographer.
Maybe he was acting.
I could have been doing some acting.
Holy shit!
Yeah, more than what Brad Pitt was doing in certain scenes. In this movie. But yeah, that's a fantastic point. I mean, you know, just not to put him at the first of the movie.
Right.
So that if you didn't know Like that would be a pretty killer fucking reveal.
Yeah, they probably didn't have it in the trailer with him in it at all.
Right, and he's not pictured on the
right.
on the front. Oh, interesting. That's a very interesting theory, and I think I like it. So they're Wild Bill's leather or whatever he had made, but you know what? Oh, I just put this together. So Wild Bill shows him the photo of the thing that he had made for the guy, but we don't get to see the photo. So
what was the thing that he made for the guy?
Well, stay with me here.
All right.
And then they get the call. They found the blonde, right?
Uh-huh.
They're right behind it. What did he make for him? What did the leather shop make? What did he put on the guy in the whorehouse? He made him that fucking belt. So they were just like, you made this thing for him? And that's why he's like,
and then later we see it.
Make some fucked up shit.
Dude, that was...
And we saw, but not only we see it, we saw that photo.
Right.
Because they took the photo. But all that just made sense to me right now.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't say I solved the movie, but I think I made a fucking dent in it.
Yeah. So I sat there for longer than I care to admit, imagining that whole scene, how that could have possibly have gone down.
Yeah.
That was disturbing.
I did too.
Like I was trying to I put myself in the guy's position in the chair with the thing on me.
Yeah.
You know, well, he was holding a gun to my head. I'm not sure that would matter. I don't think I could do that to another person.
No.
I think I would have to let him kill me. I don't think I could do that.
I think exactly the same thing. I was thinking the same thing. There's not, you're not getting that thing on me. Like, fuck it. Okay, you know what? I'm in a whorehouse. Like, I mean, shit's not that great anyway. Right. You know what I mean? Like, in this whorehouse.
Right.
You know, I mean, if you're in that particular whorehouse, it's not like fucking shit is going great in your life.
Right.
Right? So, hey, just
you didn't just hit it big in Vegas and hit the Bunny Ranch for fun.
That did not happen. So just fucking shoot me. We'll just fucking get this over with.
Well, I guarantee if you ever end up in that whorehouse, I will shoot you.
Understood. You know? That doesn't mean I would fuck that girl with that thing because that's fucking gross. And I just can't even. I mean, there's no way. Because
there's no way you're in that situation with a gun to your head making you do that to someone that I'm not also saying he's going to kill me after this.
Right.
So
you're
what the
fucking
fuck?
kill
No,
me anyway.
fuck you. Kill me then.
Right. Exactly.
You got to bow up. You got to alpha a little bit.
Yeah, but you see what he did to those other guys? Like, I mean, Jesus Christ, maybe he wouldn't have shot him.
Now, if he had said, I'm going to make her do that to you if you don't do that to her, then I might. Then I might do that.
Yeah.
Because God forbid that's not happening to me.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I just played that out in my head. And I would just be like, don't fucking do it. Let's just not do this to each other. Fuck it. And if she starts to grab the belt or whatever, then you...
That guy's so sadistic. I mean, that guy might end up blade fucking you in the ass.
What's he going to do if you just fucking grab the girl in a headlock and just fucking break her neck then? Then fuck you. Right? I mean, I'll kill her like that because she was going to fuck me in the ass with this dagger belt.
And then now I'll do it now that she's dead.
Oh, yeah. See,
Right.
that's it. Problem solved.
Problem
Fuck
solved.
So you want me to fuck her with it?
Casey's not-
Yeah, which hole? We can even do the ear. See if this motherfucker goes all the way through. Right?
Let's put this through the
Jesus
most.
Christ. Yeah, fuck it. I'm in.
I quit
I
this
just don't think I
podcast.
can continue to live in a place that embraces and nurtures apathy as if it was a virtue.
You know different. You know better.
I didn't say I was different or better. I'm not. Hell, I sympathize. I sympathize completely. Apathy is a solution. I mean, it's easier to lose yourself in drugs than it is to cope with life. It's easier to steal what you want than it is to earn it. Yeah. It's easier to beat a child than it is to raise it. Hell, love costs. It takes effort and work.
We are talking about people who are mentally ill. We are talking about people fucking crazies.
No,
yes.
we're not. No.
Today.
We're talking about everyday life here. You can't afford to be this naive.
So this conversation starts with a pretty powerful statement.
Mm-hmm.
And that is Morgan Freeman saying, this isn't going to have a happy ending.
Right.
You know, and I mean, that's some fucking crazy foreshadowing because, I mean, it's going to have, I mean, as bad of ending as it could possibly have for Brad Pitt's character. I mean, it can't really think of a lot worse than it could be. I mean,
I feel like there's a little bit of a sense of like with the whole old and new thing, you know, between the two of them. that he still has this like fire and this urgency, like let's fucking catch him before he does something else. And Morgan Freeman has seen so much shit that I think he knows like we can't.
Yeah.
Like this guy's smart and
even if we do, like the things that we're going to have to see getting to that point are going to affect us for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of apathy, actually. I'm on board with apathy.
I'm empathy. All the time.
Yeah, I don't know what apathy is.
Being apathetic because you just don't feel like
it's like whatever.
Yeah, nothing.
Oh, I'm apathetic towards that or whatever. Okay, sure. No, I'm not really apathetic. Am I apathetic ever?
No.
I'm super empathetic, right? Or not all the time?
Those aren't.
Sometimes
those aren't.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to be either one of them.
If you're not one, that doesn't mean you're the other.
Oh, okay. Well,
apathetic just means you're not very proactive. You're kind of lazy about stuff. You're like whatever about life a little bit.
Apathetic?
Apathetic. You're like, it's not like, I'm not trying to go save the world. I'm apathetic about how the world's going to turn out. So it's like, well, the world's going to turn out how the world's going to turn out and nothing I can do about it. That's apathy.
I think there's a Pantera song where he's just like, apathy and entropy. What's entropy?
Yeah, it's showing no interest,
Lack of
enthusiasm, or concern.
That's what I said.
Huh. Interesting.
You can still be empathetic and be apathetic.
Yeah, but you can be apathetic towards a situation. Like,
I've learned a lot.
But you can
today.
be, oh, I feel for you, but then not do anything about it. That's most people that are empathetic are apathetic.
No, because the other one's like not having any concern or like interest at all. The other one is like having feelings and emotions towards it and putting yourself into that perspective.
It's not that you don't have it's just that you don't do anything about it. You're like it is what it is. That's apathy. Well, it is what it is. Nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, because one of the synonyms is unemotional, dispassionate.
Well, yeah, that's what he's saying. You're just like whatever.
But I don't feel like that's empathy at all.
It's not. It's apathy.
He's saying you can be apathetic while you're empathetic, and I don't think that makes any sense.
You can. You can go, oh, man, I really hate that she's going through that. But then you sit on your couch and don't do shit about it.
No, but I think I think if you're apathetic, though, you don't even have the all-man.
Well, hold on.
I think you just feel nothing about it.
But here's the thing. Not everything you're apathetic towards has to be people. I mean, like, you could be apathetic towards situations. Like, I don't really fucking care.
Don't tell me the definition. You just found out what it meant like 5 seconds ago.
I know. But you could be apathetic towards, like, I don't care what we do on vacation, but if you stub your toe, I fucking hate that happened.
No, that was terrible.
You nailed it.
Thanks.
Sleeping pills. Glued to one hand, telephone glued to the other.
You see what he did?
Sliced her up, and he bandaged her.
Call for help and you'll live, but you'll be disfigured. Or you can put yourself out of your own misery.
Come on. Cut off her nose.
Just bite her face.
Man.
This was amazing. That scene, you're sitting there looking at the girl, and she's got a phone in one hand and a bottle of pills, and you're going, what the fuck just happened? Why? Wait, he super glued them to her hand? What the fuck is this? And then, oh, it's because he gave her two choices. And I'm thinking, two choices? I don't understand. Kill herself or call for help. Okay, because now her nose is off her face, and that's all she cares about is how she looks.
Yeah.
And then you're going, it was one of those because I didn't remember this from the first time I watched it.
I didn't remember this
It blew
at all
my
either.
mind.
They don't spend
cut off
a
her
lot-
nose to spider face or whatever.
And then he says it at the end, and I'm like, fuck, that's amazing. Who wrote this?
Yeah, they didn't spend a lot of time on this, but everything was just like boom, boom, boom.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever wrote this scene should definitely like write professionally for books or movies or something.
I kind of
don't
get
know.
it. They'd be like, call for help or you're going to have to go in public with no eyebrows. And I'd be like, fuck, what do I do?
So he calls the 911 or whatever, and he says, I've gone and done it again. That's actually happened.
That's Zodiac.
There's a few things that I've listened to recently where they kind of just call and. Is the Zodiac the one that talked in the really weird voice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I told y'all that movie fucked me up.
Really?
Totally.
Not to be a dick, but I read the book like way before that.
My client also wishes to inform you that if you do not accept, he will plead insanity across the board.
Let him try it. I'd like to see him try it.
Come on now, Martin. We all know with the extreme nature of these crimes, I could get him off with such a plea.
I'm not letting this conviction slide, I can tell you that.
He says that if you do accept, under his specific conditions, he will sign a full confession, plead guilty right now.
It's your case. Make a decision.
Full confession. I'm in.
It has to be the both of you.
How is this even a consideration? I mean, how is... But, okay, he's going to show you where the bodies is, and if you guys both go, he's going to plead guilty. Fucking...
I was like totally on board. I was like, yeah, why would you give this guy a deal at all? And then as they started doling out a little bit more information, I was like, oh, okay, well all right, you got to do it. Yeah, you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to plead insanity, and he's probably going to be insane.
Yeah, but he said he wouldn't. He'd plead guilty if they go and let him show the body.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, they have to do that.
Well, I just didn't understand.
Either way, he's just going to go to a fucking, like, place for the criminally insane for the rest of his life.
No,
not if he goes to trial.
Yeah, if he pleads guilty, he can't do the insanity plea.
I'm saying if he pleads insanity, it doesn't mean you just get to go home because you get...
No, it doesn't mean that, but it also doesn't mean you, might get... Well, does New York have the death penalty? I can't remember, but...
We all saw Shutter Island. Those places are no joke. They're not just making fucking macaroni pictures and shit up in there.
I didn't see Shutter Island, I don't think.
I think it's on our schedule.
The hospital for the criminally insane.
Well, that ride in the car was certainly something else. It's like, who are you, John? And, man, Kevin Spacey can act.
Yes.
He is wacky.
Yeah. He's got range, too.
What a wacky... Oh, just in this scene, just going from, being so just weird and all that to, like, his rants where it just builds and builds and builds.
When a person is insane, as you clearly are, do you know that you're insane? Maybe you're just sitting around reading Guns and Ammo, masturbating in your own feces. Do you just stop and go, wow, it is amazing how fucking crazy I really am? Yeah? Do you guys do that?
It's more comfortable for you to label me insane.
It's very comfortable.
It's not something I would expect you to accept. But I did not choose. I was chosen.
Whatever.
I don't doubt that you believe that, John. But it seems to me that you're overlooking a glaring contradiction.
Meaning what?
Glad you asked. If you were chosen, that is, by a higher power, and if your hand was forced, it seems strange to me that you would get such enjoyment out of it. You enjoyed torturing those people. This doesn't seem in keeping with martyrdom, does it?
I thought this was a great question to pose. Mm-hmm. Because, it definitely got me thinking.
Well, and you can tell it got him thinking.
Right.
What I didn't, I'm just like, come on, Brad Pitt. You're, wearing a wire. And you're, being like, you're insane. And he's threatening to, no, I'm going to plead insanity. I'm like, you just fucking said that he's insane.
Right.
They can use that fucking tape. You're just screwing up the whole thing. Shut your mouth.
This is, his first day, though.
Well, and also, I think
day?
When you're dealing with a fucking psychopath, rule number 1 through 10 is you're not supposed to
actually
fucking talk to them,
because they're kind of smart.
They're going to be fucking smarter than
Hannibal
you.
Lecter shit.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking shut up and
They've
drive.
been thinking about this nonstop for 5 years.
Exactly. He knows way more about you than you do him.
He has a delivery truck coming to this
Why
location.
Would they agree to fucking go? Why would they agree to go?
What
Why
do you
would
mean?
they do anything that he says?
They have to.
But that's what I'm saying though. My argument is why wouldn't you? If you're gonna get the guilty,
you got to get the guilty plea, and you're gonna find 3 other bodies.
I just don't think it's the whole you don't negotiate with terrorists. If he's demanding these things, fuck that guy. I feel like you just send him there and then.
But there's no downside for them other than just.
Yeah, but he's done all this crazy shit. He's clearly.
But the downside is he doesn't tell them where these other two bodies are. Did the little quote.
But that's
thing.
what they said. Maybe there aren't any bodies. Clearly right. He has a plan. I don't know. I just don't get why they would even listen to him.
I don't know.
I just think you have to do it.
I thought the same thing. That's not how it works. Sorry.
I think you're dealing with a person who's admitted that he's killed 5 people, and actually
and it's politics. So someone's got to get reelected, and they can't say, "Oh, I didn't do everything I could to find your dead loved ones."
I don't know. I think after seeing all that shit, though, I just wouldn't want to do anything that guy says.
Yeah. Well.
I definitely don't disagree with that. Yeah,
they have him behind bars. I don't care where the fuck he goes, as long as he's locked up.
I'm trying to tell you how much I admire you and your pretty wife.
Huh?
What? Tracy.
What'd you fucking say?
It's disturbing how easily a member of the press can purchase information from the men in your precinct. I visited your home this morning. After you'd left. I tried to play husband. I tried to taste the life of a simple man. It didn't work out. So, I took a souvenir. Her pretty head.
What the fuck's he talking about? Give me your gun. What's going on over there?
Put the gun down.
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, baby.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?
Not till you give me the
What's
gun.
in the fucking box?
Give me the gun.
Damn.
One of the greatest endings ever. Slightly ruined by the way he delivered what's in the box.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like when you just listen to it, though, but I feel like whenever you watch it, it's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean,
it was just that one line, what's in the box? It was just so weirdly delivered.
Well, and I
He's
feel
kind
like
of in shock and doesn't.
I just felt like it happened too soon. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like it would have started with what's in the box.
like, he should have been way more
Dude,
confused
what's in the fucking box?
for longer.
Dude, why the fuck are you not... and then you start to realize it. Then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like a cry-y sort of,
Right,
what's
yeah,
in
yeah.
the box?
Yeah, but that guy just says he took his wife's head. Somebody just delivered a fucking random box, and Morgan
I
Freeman's
don't
running
think
at
that
him.
registers.
I think he's panicked.
I think if you're in that situation, someone saying, yeah, I took your wife's head, that's not going to register right away.
It would, and if you've already seen all the other fucked up shit he's done.
Maybe, that's true.
Oh, sorry.
And
hold on.
remember, Morgan Freeman said earlier, he goes,
It's under
because he said it's funny how like a member of the press can buy information from people like whatever in your department.
Right,
And
right.
Morgan Freeman said earlier, like, how do they even get in here? Oh, if they pay them, they
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
they
totally
just let
set
them
that
in.
up.
They give them the information ahead of time. So
Yeah.
It took me a minute back during the deal part where I was going, who's the second vet? I know her head, but who's this? I forgot that
I forgot
he's the
until I
end-
remembered
the
what the last sin was.
Yeah.
And whenever I remembered it was wrath, I was like, okay, clearly.
Well, and that's the whole thing. That's what Morgan Freeman is actually saying, is if you shoot him, he wins. He
Right.
fucking he did it. You don't shoot him.
Because there's three. There was three, right? No. Was
What?
it three deadly? There's three left?
No, there was two. Envy and wrath.
Okay.
Envy. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Envy. It was.
But
okay.
so what is he saying? If he shoots him, like what happens to him? He like fucking.
Well,
He's
they
gets
didn't all
charged
have to
with murder.
die, but
He's
it
getting
was-
charged with murder.
Don't get caught up in that.
I
It
feel
was
like if
beautiful.
somebody just gives you like your wife's head in the box, you get to shoot him. It's like that guy
Oh,
in
he'd get
Texas
off.
that yeah, totally. That guy in Texas that remember they even like the end were like, we'll take care of him. But there's that guy in Texas that like walked in and that freaking dude was like had like assaulted his daughter and he just beat the fuck out of him until he's dead and he had to go to court and they were all like high five.
Yeah,
Good job.
He might have to wear a band around his ankle for a while, but that's about it.
Well, he's definitely not going to be a cop anymore.
No, that's true.
He's suspended.
Yeah, indefinitely.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good watch. Very good movie, whoever picked it. It's good to be back. Had a great week off. Looking forward to next week. My iPad has died because I can't plug it in. So I'll do this. Let's check the email box. Email us at jaretgoestothemovies@gmail.com.
James Glacken writes, "Hey guys, so due to technical issues with downloading the podcast, I have now just managed to listen to the Caddyshack episode. Listening to Jaret talk about getting caught dancing to the Footloose soundtrack, I just want to say we all have been there, brother. I was caught by my father dancing in my tidy whities in front of a full-length mirror to the Descendants album Milo Goes to College. In my defense, it was July in Colorado, and we had no air conditioning, but the point remains we've all been there. Can't wait for the streaming episode, so I'm glad I upgraded my Patreon pledge.
Love it, man. I do feel like though that you dancing
his situation's way cooler
Yeah,
than
the
yours.
Descendants Milo Goes to College is way cooler than me, cutting loose.
I think
Footloose.
about that story often and fucking just like laugh out loud.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's 100% a true story, and it's a lot of flashbacks come back whenever I hear that song.
Jason Randall writes, "Hey guys, Huge fan of the show, and I've started donating via Patreon. While I have many questions, a discussion with a coworker led me down a path of travel, and the city of Dallas was brought up. She used to live in a different part of Texas for a short time, and I visited a few cities for work and have driven through Dallas once about 15 years ago. My work has an office in Dallas, and she asked me if it would be a location I'd like to visit. My reaction surprised me when I said, I listen to a podcast that's based out of there, and it sounds like they have awesome bars and cool people, but the people there are sick all the time. So I guess my question is, if we donate a couple more dollars to Patreon, can some of it go towards Lysol wipes and Purell bottles? Love the show. I'm excited to hear about the movies we'll be watching together.
Well,
see, I told you to stop telling people I'm sick all the time.
Well, first of all, yes, we do. Okay, so here's the thing: like allergies are really bad, and
and I like lick doorknobs
seasonal.
and shit. It's fucked up.
But you also have to understand that I travel a lot and am in just insane, stupid conditions and a lot of airplanes.
Germ
We did
hot
not
box that is an airplane.
The
bite your
English-
tongue. You
Shut
bite
up.
your tongue. It can
can
still
sneak
happen.
up on you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because Werner had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my mom's friend that came on the tour.
Did
got-
he?
Yeah, he got the English HIV, and so he had to take like 2 weeks off work and shit. Fucking crazy. But yes, we do appreciate, Jason, you acknowledging that. And, I mean, Rich has only been sick 2 times since we started the podcast.
it's the worst when he's
Will was sick for like 3 weeks, but that's the only time he's ever been sick. And then I just have allergies all the time. I've only been sick like 2 times. Casey just had like a never-ending flu thing over the spring.
I'm just sick all the time. I always have been. I'm fine.
Well, okay, I was trying to fucking downplay it, but yeah, she's just fucking sick all the time.
I'm fine.
I'm not gonna talk about it anymore.
I still go to work. I fucking live my life.
Yeah, hell yeah.
If you're sick all the time, you're not sick.
Come
you're
on
just...
this podcast. I say fuck a bunch. Everything's fine.
Thank you guys so very much for listening. This has been a fun one. It's been a great night. We miss you, Will, but everybody tune in next week where you can hear Will. And
we're doing Sleepers.
Is that what we're doing next week? I've never seen that before.
It's fucking amazing. One of my favorite movies, but it's a long one, I think.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Guys, check us out on the social medias, JaretGoesToTheMovies.com. We are at Jaret Movies on Twitter and Instagram. Suggest and vote for future movies on Reddit at @JaretGoesToTheMovies. Find us on Facebook, YouTube, and everything else by searching Jaret Goes to the Movies. Find me at JARET2113. Also, check out my artist page on Facebook. My numbers are like going crazy right now, so I would love to have even more of you. And find Rich Coleman at Rich Coleman TX. Casey is at Casey Yant. And Will is at Will Vark with 1 L. Thank you guys so very much for listening again. And
I like you more than a friend.
I know you do. And we will see you down the road.